Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk,
Blasted,
intoxicated,
rip, plastered,
destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove.
AM. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, Monday in the fall, that means there was a whole lot to look back on. Wow! From a Hail Mary to an offense that moved up and down the field but didn't score, to a Cowboys team that is reeling, to a Broncos team that, dare I say, might be rolling. What up? Welcome to the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. How you living?
What it do?
What a weekend, huh? Again?
Wow.
It starts on Friday night with an all-timer in the World Series. I mean, I hate the recency bias, the over, like. But in the moment, did you realize what you were watching when Freddie Freeman hit that ball out of the yard?
Walk-off grand slam in the World Series.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th.
Impressive.
Yeah. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th, down by a run.
1.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, that's, and what do you think of the call? Gibby, meet Freddie, because that's, all I wanted him to do was round second base and do the fist pump. That's what I was just waiting for, right? Where's Lasorda? I wanted the fist pump. That was, honestly, I mean, put it up there with your sports moments if you're a Dodger fan, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one you'll always remember where you were. We're going to get into that. Dodger fan, you got to feel good about your life. Dodgers and Yankees game 3 tonight. Walker Buehler on the hill for the Dodgers, trying to take a 3-0 lead in the Bronx. We got, I'm looking at a slate of football yesterday. JJ, the most impactful thing around here probably is the Cowboys, but the most impactful thing overall is the Hail Mary, right?
Yes.
How does that happen? There's so much, like if you're Matt Eberflus and the Bears, can I tell you what bothers me the most about it? If I'm the Bears, and I'm not a Bear fan. I don't. They shouldn't have been in that position because you got cute. The Bears dominated the second half. The Bears went down and did what they wanted to in the second half offensively. And they got down to the goal line. Instead of giving it to Roschon Johnson, they give it to a lineman and they fumble it away. And it should. I mean, honestly, we wouldn't have even been there. That's why that
got a little cute.
Way too cute. Way too cute. And look, I get it. Refrigerator Perry did that, and it was really cool. It looked like they never practiced that before. I know they have. Well, that was horrible. And they would have been in that.
Well, then even just conceding the out route to Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Which allowed Jaden Daniels to
get the
ball there, and it landed short of the end zone, but still was an effortless throw for a quarterback that looked pretty good for playing with ribs that pretty much cost him the entire week of practice.
Yeah. And you got Tyreek Stevenson taunting the fans, not even in the play. It's just, Bears fan, you got to be sick to your stomach. because that's one where you could point at so many different things. Cowboy fan, you got to be sick to your stomach because because where's it getting better? Where's it getting better? And you just keep sinking and sinking and sinking. 3-5, the Commanders at least lost, but the Eagles won again. 30-24, you lose to the 49ers last night. It wasn't that close. You scored 2 late CeeDee Lamb touchdowns to help pad your fantasy team or the team that was playing against you, however it happened to be. And it just didn't matter. All of a sudden, Dak decided, oh, look at that. I got prevent defenses and I can find open receivers. He looked horrible.
Yeah, he's struggling. It's 3 straight games with multiple interceptions. He's been incredibly underwhelming, and it's an offense that you expect Dak to elevate. That's what they're paying him to do. That's why they didn't do anything in the running game. They figured they'll get by, and look at that third quarter where they were silenced, gave up 3 touchdown drives, and then a 10-6 halftime lead turned into a 27-10 deficit.
Yeah, it's a good night now. So we got all that to do. Lobos lose to Colorado State 17-6 on Saturday, despite moving the ball, I don't know, pretty well between the 10s. Really well between the 10s. And then you get into the red zone, and boy, it was just a different story. They outgained Colorado State 453 yards and 334 points. You had 453 yards of offense and 6 points. Just turnovers, penalties, missed field goals, just shooting yourself in the foot. And look, I don't know if the Lobos get to bowl eligibility or not. They've got winnable games in Wyoming and in San Diego State, and I don't think Washington State is invincible. And then Hawaii. You got to win 3 of the last 4, right? Is there 4 left?
Yes.
And so I don't know if you get there or not. But that's going to be one of those, that and Montana State game are going to be games you look back at and say, wow. I mean, there's certainly ones that got away. Now, did you steal one at Utah State? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But JJ, they moved the ball. Just that was so uncharacteristic of what that team has been for the last month.
Not really.
You don't think so?
Well,
turnovers in the end zone?
The penalties.
In the red zone? Yeah.
Turnovers
in the
have
red
been
zone. The red zone, the inefficiency, they've been scoring when they've had chances.
Yes. When you have the no touchdowns, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's penalties on third down.
Look, penalties, they lead the nation.
The turnovers, man. We talked about it. It sounds so simple, but this was a game that they weren't coming back in if they turned the football over like that. And this isn't just a interception at halftime. It's Devin Dampier threw more interceptions again. And he had to play a clean game because the Rams were a little bit better than the last couple teams they played. Physicality, going to control that game, and missed chances. And so, yes, the fact that this team that scored 50 points in 3 straight games didn't score a touchdown was crazy. But when you look at the things, the penalties, turnovers, it's been there. They just were able to overcome it in those other games, and we knew this one had to play a cleaner football game.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Let's go. There's so much to talk about. The World Series, all the football over the weekend, global basketball in the night. They open up against UTEP in an exhibition at the Pit. The men do. So let's go. John, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I am very fine. And so they say if you think about something too much, you'll put too much pressure on yourself and you'll screw up. And the volume of thought. When Freddie Freeman hit that ball, it wasn't just the volume of thoughts he had when he was in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th grade, but every young kid in America who's an adult who might be 80 years old now thought about that moment and played on a park saying, all right, 10th inning, bases loaded, World Series.
Down by a run.
And that's what makes that hit so amazing. That hit is so amazing because the collective thought that people have dreamed about in that situation, and he performed.
Yeah.
That's the thing that made it so cool, and I loved watching it. So, but I hope the Dodgers win. I haven't rooted for them in a while, but I hope they win this year.
Appreciate you. Yeah, that's really good. Every one of us did. Whoever played at baseball at any level, when we were 5, 6, 7, he's right. We had a bat in our hand, maybe just in the backyard by ourselves. You did the play-by-play in your own head. Yeah. Yeah, and he did it, and he lived it out. He performed the moment. A guy who has been like he missed a lot of time because his son has been going through some health issues. He missed time because of his family. He missed a game because his ankle, right, was a game 5 of the Mets series, I think it was. He said, 6 days ago he couldn't have done that, but the rest helped him. And, I mean, it was just, boom, one pitch. I mean, forget about it. And you knew it the second he hit it. So did he. His reaction was insane. Bat flips are back. Bat flips are okay now, right?
Bat flips are okay.
I mean, you get style points for bat flips now. It was, I expected him to come around second base and do the Kirk Gibson fist pump.
That would have been
the arm
quality.
pump. Would that have just been an homage? Just like, look what it was. And somebody told me, or not somebody told me, I saw it on the tweeter, so I don't know if that means somebody told me. That JJ, it was like at the exact same time on the clock, like 8:37 p.m., 36 years later, whatever that, but it was like the exact same time of night. I don't know if that's as Gibson's home run. I don't know if that's right. Everything you said.
So if he would have thrown a pitch 30 seconds later, you would not have hit a grand slam.
Maybe not. Okay. Yeah. You know what bothered me? The only thing that bothered me about the whole thing, I was watching some of the post-game coverage, and ESPN was going out. They had a young anchor, and I don't know what her name was, and she was tossed out to Jessica Mendoza, and she's like, and Freddie Freeman hit a home run, a walk-off home run, and it was the first walk-off home run in the history of the game. Kirk Gibson's, I'm like, no, it wasn't. And she didn't know the difference between a grand slam and a home run, and I'm like, and you're like, how do some of these people get these jobs? That's the only one that, right, of all of it, it was insane. Dodger fan, you can come out. It's okay. I think where we are now, I mean, it's not over. By no means is it over. And that lineup that you face in pinstripes tonight, I mean, every time it comes up, right, you see, Judge, or Soto, Judge, and Stanton.
Same thing for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like, this is why these teams made it to the World Series.
Yeah.
They have their star players that are performing at the high level. If you're the Yankees, now you're going back home looking at, all right, is Aaron Judge going to show up to the party? Because you got Stanton, Soto hitting home runs in the first two games, and Aaron Judge struggling to get going. And it's an opportunity to get back in it, because if you can get out Walker Buehler tonight, you're facing then a bullpen game in Game 4. So you could put that pressure right back on the Dodgers. But you got to hit the baseball.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go. When we get back, let's get into what the Broncos are doing. Cowboy fan, is it over? And the Jets. I mean, what? Who's a more miserable fan base today? You can answer the question. Jets, Bears, Colts, the way they lost. We can get into that when you get back. While you ponder that, look around your vehicle. Look around your vehicle and see how it looks. You want to get that taken care of? I can help you with that. You can call On the Spot Automotive Detailing, and you can have them come out and detail your vehicle. They will come out, and that's right, they bring their mobile unit to you. They take it to you, and they detail your car wherever it works for you. People have asked me, is that right? So you don't take your... No, I don't know where they are, man. They know where my office is, and that's really what matters. They come out and protect my vehicle. They'll put ceramic coating and paint protection film on. You can talk to them. It works like magic. No more mud, dirt, water stains. Protective layering helps prevent UV oxidation damage to your car's paint. They've been awarded Best of the City because they know what it takes to keep your car in the best possible condition. It's a great gift as we go to gift-giving season. But just do it for yourself, man. You could have that new car feeling, protect your biggest investment, or one of them, and have it done at your convenience. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, you can book and buy. It's all right there online. OTSdetailing.com. Go to OTSdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Etiquette. So how do you talk about the Freddie Freeman home run with your Yankee fan buddies?
You be obnoxious about it?
What if he's the boss?
Be obnoxious about it?
Getting coffee, the boss is a Yankee fan. But he told me a Kirk Gibson story.
Duh! Yankees lose.
Is America rooting for... I mean, who does America dislike less? Is that kind of the right way to put it?
Yes, there's plenty that probably just like hate watching this World Series. But I had a Dodgers fan talking to me over the weekend. And I'm a Rockies fan, so it's like, well, are you rooting for the NL West or against the Dodgers? I'm like, you know what? I don't have a rooting interest in it. It's a World Series. I'm watching baseball. I'm enjoying it. But it's more just jealousy because I know my team is never going to be in that situation.
They just so much money on this. Yeah.
It's not like you still have to perform, but it's at that level you can just pay away your mistakes. Like even if you miss something, like all right, we'll be okay. We'll just go get something else. But man, watching this team and the Dodgers, what they've done, it's really impressive. Dave Roberts, Shohei Ohtani, and now we're going to see how the Stars perform in the Bronx.
It's like guys like Edmonds, right, and Kike, and it's like you look up and down the lineup and you say, okay, you get a break at the bottom, but you don't, and that's what's amazing about what they're doing right now, right? It's you look at the lineup and you say, I get it. You got to get through the top three, and you got to get through Shohei and Betts and Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez. But then it's not, because Tommy Edmonds? Kike Hernandez?
Well, when you have the ridiculous players, those guys can slide in. And Edmonds was a starter in St. Louis, so it wasn't like a nobody. But you don't have him as an MVP of
the Nationals.
But that's baseball. Yeah. Like those guys, I think back to the Cody Ross World Series, things like that, dudes that can come up and you get hot for a week. Changes your life and the career that you have.
All right. Word is Ohtani is expected to play dislocated his shoulder, sliding into second base, trying to steal a base. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts didn't really declare it on Sunday, but he told Carl Ravitch of ESPN, quote, he's playing tomorrow. I guess that's a declaration. And later before the workout, he said he's in the right direction. So he says, my expectation, talking to the training staff, if it's pain tolerance, I just don't see him not playing in Game 3. So how effective he can be, we'll see. But he's something, man. Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Chad.
Hey, guys. Just checking in here. A little bit on the Cowboys, going over some of the game. I thought Chris Collinsworth had a really good observation, and it's so true. Dak doesn't run anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a threat that he used to have that was so crucial on, just getting nice little chunks of yards for free. You can see it from Brock Purdy last night. He got a bunch of those. But I can't say I'm surprised. Going into the season, I predicted us to be 7-10, not make the playoffs, and we're on course for that accolade. But it could be worse. We could be the Jets. So I laughed at my friend who's a Jets fan, so at least I can laugh at somebody. But yeah, I mean it's nice first half, but again, my hopes aren't too high this year, and it is what it is. I think we still need a running game. I think we need some help on defense, and a lot of that stuff. And the owner needs to kind of step away, but that's probably never going to happen. So I shook my 2 cents. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Cowboy fans frustrated. And Chris Collinsworth said it in the second half of the game yesterday on the NBC broadcast, and he said, Dak just doesn't run anymore. Ever since the injury, he doesn't run. He's not a threat to run. And what Chad just said is right. I mean, you look at Brock Purdy busted off 8 carries getting out of the pocket. None of them were scripted for 56 yards. Dak doesn't do it. And he's unloading, and it's just not a threat anymore. And
they're not good enough around him. Who doesn't run? Jared Goff.
Yeah, fair enough.
That
was never part of his game.
Yeah. But, okay, so Dak Prescott was never going to be a guy for 10, 15 years that the legs were going to be a part of his game. He was Brock Purdy-like before the ankle injury, but now you pay this guy to still win from the pocket, and you have to get a run game for him. You go into that game without Rico Dowdle, and it's not like they were running with him.
And Dalvin Cook is what you said he'd be. Right. A shell. Yeah. A shell. That dude that's Dalvin Cook.
And that offense
used to be Dalvin Cook.
Shell of itself.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you look at the targets. Ferguson got 8. Dak threw 38 balls. If he threw 38 balls, how come there's only 37 targets in the stat sheet? How can that be?
Could have been a throwaway.
Yeah, but they kind of say targeted someone. Anyway.
I should throw it away.
CeeDee Lamb was targeted 17 times. 17 times. Ferguson 8. Ferguson had 6 catches for 23. A lot of these were, right at the line of scrimmage. And after that, Tolbert 3, Turpin 4, Cook once. Their offense, I don't know where you see the hope that they're getting better, and that's what that Cowboy fan just said. Dak was 25 of 38 for 243, turned it over twice, threw 2 touchdowns. They got beat. They're 3-4. They're getting buried in the NFC. If you start looking at the standings, and the good thing is the West is beating up on each other. You may get 3 teams out of the North. Hell, you might get all the wild cards could come out. I mean, they're going to start beating up on each other in the North, so teams are going to start losing. And the Bears are in last place at 4-3. That's why that was just a brutal loss for them. But you got you figure Washington and Philly are getting in, right? You figure Detroit's getting in. Whoever wins the South's getting in, and whoever wins the West's getting in. That leaves you one playoff spot, and you're not even close. You're not close. You're battling right now Green Bay, Minnesota, Tampa Bay. They're all better than you. They just are. They're all better than you.
They're well ahead of you at this point.
They're better than you. How about the West? So the Rams are 3-4, a half game out of first place, but they're in last. Arizona, San Francisco, and Seattle all 4-4. Who's the best team? Is it San Francisco still?
And if you're San Francisco, you look at what could be returning on both sides of the football the next couple weeks. I think the Rams, offensively,
they're enticing. Yep,
are the best, and then the Seattle and Arizona are Jekyll and Hyde.
Dude, I don't trust Seattle. 1 week, how do you go across the country, beat the hell out of Atlanta? And it's okay that Buffalo beat you, but beat you like that? Yeah. And I get it. DK Metcalf was out, but for crying out loud, that's twice you've let teams come from New York into your place and beat you.
Yeah, it's goal-to-goal situations where you have a errant snap, so where you're a 7-0 game, you're thinking, all right, we'll hand it to Kenneth Walker and tie this game up, and then all of a sudden it's 2nd and goal from like the 30-yard line. Then another situation, 4th and 1 at the goal line, and the offensive lineman steps on Geno Smith, so he falls down. Yeah. Turnover on down.
How about that? Both of those. That is a crap. Remember the Toronto coach? This is a crap.
And all the Kenneth Walker owners are like, no!
Okay, you know why they said that? Because he went back and picked up the damn fumble and got charged with a 19-yard loss.
Minus 1.9 points.
I lost 1.9 points on that because the dude went back and picked up a fumble. If he'd have just fallen, what? This is a crap.
Trying to make a play.
Yeah,
trying to make a play.
Such garbage. All right, 505-246-0610. Must take the break. We'll update you on the 3-for-all. Interesting 3-for-all week. Got to get into the Hail Mary. Bronco fan, how you living? Like, all right. Beat who you got to beat, right? They used to tell you beat who you're supposed to beat. Well, the Broncos weren't supposed to beat anybody. Well, here comes Carolina. Here comes a beat-up Saints team. Next, you're going to get an injured animal coming in, and the Ravens. You're going on the road there. But beat who you got to beat. And I see you, Jameis. Could this put an end to the Deshaun Watson experiment, please? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by the Sandoval County Bureau.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of
iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
Broncos win decisively. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J. Buck. Bronco fan, you starting to like what you see a little bit? 28-14. I know who they beat, and I get it. And I look around the league, and they just... The Jets were supposed to beat the Patriots, were they not? The Ravens were absolutely supposed to beat the Browns, were they not? That didn't happen. So just because you get a team that you're quote unquote supposed to beat doesn't mean that happens all the time. And it sounds so easy. And by no means am I going to sit here and tell you I think the Broncos are a Super Bowl contender. But I will tell you I do think they are a wild card contender and a playoff contender and a young quarterback that you're watching develop in front of your eyes. They beat Carolina 28-14. They got a decent rushing day. McLaughlin and Williams split carries. All Javonte got the majority of them. But Bo Nix threw 37 times, 28 for 37, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, was 284 yards. Against a Carolina team that's not good. They're 1-7. They started Bryce Young yesterday, who threw 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I actually looked a little better than I remember Bryce Young looking before he got benched. They had Andy Dalton, who was in a car accident, broke his thumb or hurt his thumb during the week. JJ, is it tempered excitement? Is it is you're watching a team develop, and you're saying, all right, I think I understand what they are and what they're not. They have a really good win on the road against the Buccaneers before the Buccaneers were hurt. A road win in the rain against a Jets team that's horrible. A Raiders team, a Saints team, a Panthers team. Like, I get it. But, JJ, kind of like with the Lobos, you got to start beating the teams that were beating you, right?
Yeah, you look at the strength of victory, it's not great, but it's about winning games that you have a chance in.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was a game you should win. That became that type of game where Bo Nix was aggressive. Sean Payton was aggressive the entire game. 4th and 2, running trick plays in the second half, going for it, knowing his team had the confidence, had the advantage in that matchup. And that's what I like to see out of Bo Nix, how aggressive he was, pushing the football downfield. Look, the 220 yards passing they had in the first half was more than he's had in all but one game this season. And so they took advantage of a bad football team. They leaned in to the young quarterback, and the development is ahead of where I thought they would be. No question about it. You can still obviously see the tiers in the AFC, but now there's something to believe in if you're a Bronco fan, because still going into the season, not a lot of questions, man. I thought Sean Payton was a lot of talk and not a lot of action.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never worked with the young quarterback, even though he's supposed to be, the quarterback guru and this offensive guy. And what he's been able to do with Bo Nix in an offense that doesn't have a lot of playmakers, it's impressive that they got you this point. And yes, you look at them at 5-3, comparing them to, the Chargers, Colts, Bengals, and Dolphins at this point. Even with Tua back, man, they're 2-5. That's a lot to overcome. They're in a good position to make a playoff appearance in year one with Bo Nix.
Yeah. Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons next. So you're going to go into a tough little stretch now. But are you convinced? Probably isn't the right word. Do you believe that? Because I do. Bo Nix is the guy that's going to be an NFL franchise quarterback for the next, 5 to 8 years. Because I do.
I think it's trending that way, but I think in this league, we know how quickly things can change.
That's correct.
Like you think you have a guy, and then now it's continuing to build around him offensively, develop some more playmakers. Troy Franklin, rookie wide receiver, he played with at Oregon, starting to come along. Cortland Sutton, but they got the tight ends going. But it's still, that's the next step. So you have the guy that, all right, you believe you can create something with this. Keep investing in him, and it's been a defense that's been a very pleasant surprise because they weren't necessarily that unit. And you thought, maybe did they miss a window where that the defense slipped a little bit? No, they've been good. And to go out there and you said take the step, and that is you were that team that everyone else has been beaten, and then you go into those games and you leave no doubt against teams that are reeling at the quarterback position. We saw the last two with the Saints and Panthers, and now it gets real. And Lamar Jackson on the other side in those teams.
Well, what's Lamar Jackson right now? Look, they got beat by a Browns team that was done. That you don't think they're done? The Browns?
Well, what's Lamar Jackson right now? Fine. Like he's still
they're fine.
It's an NFL team that just won 5 in a row that lost the football game, which you're going to do.
And they've lost 2 football games by basically 2 plays, right? 29-24, the Browns beat the Ravens. Like, where did that come from? And I don't know what the money line was on that, but Jameis made his first start. And he was 27-41, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Didn't turn the ball over. And the Cleveland Browns, who were 1-6, beat the 5-2 Ravens, who were, the next best team after. All the Chiefs do is win. But can this put it doesn't, does it? Deshaun Watson stuff to bed, because you're not going to say Jameis is our guy moving forward into next year. Deshaun Watson's going to come back from, what was his injury?
Popped his Achilles.
That's what it was. Yeah, I was trying to remember which one.
Well, it shows you that this wasn't a football decision why they were playing Deshaun Watson.
Well, it also, when I can sit here 2 weeks later, and I got to go back and listen to Kevin Stefanski's quote saying Deshaun Watson absolutely gives us the best chance to win. And we all watched Deshaun Watson, and I'm thinking, this is where typically, and this is one where it's different because that ownership's in his ear. Ownership guaranteed Deshaun Watson $230 million. Ownership wants this guy to work. Ownership's telling you. I mean, like everybody understands this. So I got a head coach. And I don't know what you want the guy to do, but he's out there saying, Deshaun Watson gives us the best chance to win. And JJ, I know I tell you at that point, look, man, I'm not at practice every day. I can't sit here and tell you what a coach is seeing. I got to believe a coach is doing what's best for him to win a game because he's got to do that to win his job. What would you do if you were the coach? Like I always think of this. What would Parcells have done? Would Parcells have told ownership to stick it, fire me? I mean, and maybe Kevin Stefanski doesn't have that leeway. I don't know what you're supposed to do. You're like, we've all been in a situation. Any of us who's ever had a boss has been told, hey, you're going to do this. And in your heart of hearts, in your gut, it's not right. It doesn't give you the best chance to be the best you can be. Whatever you do, I don't care if you sell insurance, do radio, you're a teacher, whatever it is you do, right? But what do? You got a boss. Do you either tell him to stick it and you do it your way and you probably get fired? What did you want Stefanski to do at that point?
Yeah, I think we all, even being on the outside, saw what was happening and did not believe for a second that Kevin Stefanski, what he was saying he believed, but it was what he had to do at that moment in time. Because it could possibly have been, hey, I'm benching Deshaun Watson, and it could have been like, okay, well then I'm getting a new head coach. Like that's the level because the blind loyalty they showed to Watson, it was for a reason because the coaching staff, football team, they could not have believed that Deshaun Watson gave them the best chance to win. Now, this is Jameis Winston, though. This is who he is in his career.
Right. He'll throw the ball away 3 times next week.
Yes. So you understand that. And I think there's a reason why you always try to figure out, can you find the consistency? But Watson was in such a bad place before the injury. This team is in such a bad position. Like, the fact that you go to Jameis Winston and he's the guy that ignites you and he's the guy that's rallying the troops, as weird as he is. He's the opposite of corny with all the stuff he does. It's just weird sometimes. But, man, when he finds that spark, he can get you going.
Can the Browns make a run?
But when you look at Cleveland, what's the difference the last 2 years?
In what?
This team with Joe Flacco and Jameis Winston has looked completely different than the team with Deshaun Watson.
And it's amazing how much better their defense plays, huh? Right? I mean, we looked at it. Their
Complimentary football.
Yeah. All right, so they get Chargers, who are probably the hardest team in football to watch right now. Right? They had a couple big chunk plays Ladd McConkey made yesterday, but they're a boring watch, man. They just are. The Saints, who maybe in 2 weeks get Derek Carr back, maybe, but they haven't won since the second week. They get the Steelers, who I'm not sold on what they are yet. The Broncos, who are good but not world beaters. And then the Steelers, 5 weeks in a row. Can they make a run and turn this thing around?
Can they? Yes. Will they? Probably going 500 over that stretch.
Better chance to make a run and turn it around. 2-6 teams. Them are the Jets. Them.
Yeah.
Just because, and they're both horribly dysfunctional, I think. And I think they're both, and I'll say this too, I don't even know who I trust more at quarterback. I think they're both horribly erratic at quarterback. I think they both have really good defenses. But, I mean, there's no reason. There's just no reason. We got to get into the Jets, too. We'll do that when we get back. Bronco Mendenhall, scheduled to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. Talked to him about Lobos' loss 17-6 at Colorado State last weekend. And they get a bitter Jay Sawvell coming in here, who got reprimanded by the league, and Wyoming, who got beat on a last-second field goal at home by Utah State. That's coming in on Saturday, and an opportunity for Lobos to get right against the Cowboys. Searching for your ideal venue for an event. You got an event, party, gala, holiday party, reception, whatever it is you got, from 10 people to 20,000 people. the Albuquerque Convention Center has got your spot. They've got over 600,000 square feet of versatile space to accommodate every event size and every event style and anything imaginable, anything you need. Book your dream event at the center of it all. A wonderful, wonderful, diverse menu. Whatever they'll put together whatever you need. They've got an expert staff that goes above and beyond. Parking garage adjacent to the facility. This is the event that everybody will want to be at. So if you're planning your holiday party or you've got an event, think of the Albuquerque Convention Center. We do every year for the Isleta New Mexico Bowl. We take the players down there on Thursday. We do an event there. We have, I think, for every year, maybe not the first year, but I think it was every year we've done this. And we keep going back because they take care of our people. I'm in the hospitality business. My people got to be taken care of. I say my people, the people who are our guests. I know that's how you want it to be as well. Albuquerque Convention Center will be that. They will take care of everything you want. Be at the center of it all. Have the event that everybody talks about. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center at albuquerquecc.com. All the info is at albuquerquecc.com. Or you can give them a call at 505-768-4575. 505-768-4575.
This report is sponsored by all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts? What's the worst that can happen? Seriously? Buckle up. Okay. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Free-for-all results. Brutal. JJ went 2-1. You're on a little heater lately. You hit with the Lions laying 12.5. They won by 100. I guess it wasn't 100. It was
very close.
I mean, 52-17 or something like that. Is that what the number was? The hell was it? Where's the Lions?
52-14.
That's close, right? So you hit on that. You lose on Houston, Indy. You laid 5 with Texans. They win by 3, and then you laid 7 with the Chargers against New Orleans, and they ended up winning that game. What was that number? What the hell don't have numbers?
26-8.
26-8. Justin Herbert. When they let him throw, he's all right. And him and Ladd McConkey hooked up. So you're 2-1, 14-13. You're up on the good side of 500 for the year. I went 1-1-1. I got the tie on the Hail Mary crap.
Yep.
And are we sure that wasn't 3.5 that I got with the Bears?
-3.
Yeah. Some crap. All right. Raiders. I took the 9.5, and I won. And Green Bay, I laid 4, and they won by 3. So I'm 1-1-1. I'm 14-12-1 on the year. So that's what it was. We all took the over on the Lobos. You guys are beating the crap out of me for that. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm getting beat up for the over. It's Rod says the OD has won a lot of awards, Jefferson, but after taking the over, Lobo football versus CSFU, it's time to give one of those awards back. The only bright spot is it wasn't on TV, so no one saw that stinker. It was on Altitude. Yeah, I watched it on TV. It was there. It was on the Mountain West Network. It was on Altitude.
Yeah.
How about the announcer guy? He was super announcer guy.
That was the screamer at Mountain West Media Day a few years ago.
Is that the same dude?
Yes, it was.
When I saw him, I'm like, I know that guy. Yep. That's super loud screamer guy. Just yeah. We kept looking at each other, just going, dude, you don't have to yell. You got a microphone; it'll pick up all. Yeah. Shame on you, Jeffaloo. I got a shame on you. Yeah, it's from Mike. Last week you had a caller who said Lobo football was hard to watch. I know you're trying to hype them for your game, but you pull out a bunch of stats while poo-pooing them. I'll ask a question in a second. You can justify anything with stats. Look at the presidential election. But to the eye test, Lobo football is pretty much unwatchable right now. How is a 50-45 game unwatchable?
Because there's no defense. But then you get a defensive game and there's no offense. So then you can make the case, I don't want to watch this.
All right.
Where's the offense?
All right. Like I didn't poo-poo any. If this is where you guys, it's a weird format. I understand. And can I just lay out what our job is? And you don't get to define our job. The bosses do. JJ and I are paid. We have a show to give opinions. Okay. And it's like any conversation you have with your buddies. You have an opinion, your buddy has an opinion, and if your opinion is differing than theirs, are they poo-pooing you? Like, very often I may have a different, or JJ may have a different opinion than you do. And you express yours, we express ours. If I have a different opinion, and whether I back it with stats or whatever, I'm not poo-pooing you. And I know there's one guy who loves to go off and, you're opinionated and yeah, that's yes. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're paid to do. That's why we've been doing this show for 16 plus years. They let us do that. So who sent me that? It was Mike. I didn't poo-poo anybody. I mean, if I disagreed with you, like I look at a game that was 50-45 and I'm like, damn, that was a hell of a watch. Yeah, was the 17-6 game a tough one because it was yeah. I still think they're a program on the rise. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they're a horrible team. I don't think they're hard to watch. But that's my opinion. Mike, if you do, I mean, I get it. I'm not sure how you saw them and said they weren't on TV, though at least no one could watch them. Oh, no, that was the other email. That wasn't you. No, that's all. I don't know, man. Omar's in on the Cowboys. This quarterback got engaged over the bye week, but he's the one screwing Jerry. Can you now see, Jeff, why Omar's off the bandwagon? Fair enough. All right. I don't know. Did we poo-poo in? I might have a little bit if you told me that game was hard to watch.
Of opinion, which some people say, how dare you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you want? You didn't like 17-6 and you didn't like 50-45. I mean, you kind of ran the gamut in the 2 weeks. Then go watch the Alabama game, dude. There was some really good football this weekend, by the way. There was some blowouts. How good did Oregon look? Oh, and those picks that I kind of did those. I went 2-5. Just those little side picks, and I'm like, here, I take these ones to the bank. See, you would have made money if you would have guessed 2-5. Opening drive, Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us. Coming up at 9 o'clock on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Channel.
Let's paint the town.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury.
But the defense has impressed me. Chicago's had a good unit, but the way Washington played in this game was really good, because that's the one thing. You know, if they get a little bit more from that defense, like, this is the legit team that could win a playoff game. It's not just a good story of, oh, go get this division. Like, this, you could look at this team as able to win a playoff game with a rookie quarterback, the level that Daniels is playing at, and it's the clutch moments which you talk about, that drive, the connecting with DJ Moore on the sideline, or the route running of Keenan Allen, which drew pass interference, put them right there on the doorstep, and you had that game won. And it's a fluky Hail Mary play that it looks even worse with all the angles that are coming out about Tyreek Stevenson, taunting the crowd and going.
By the way, he's the one who tipped the ball,
and then
he's the guy who got in there and tipped the ball.
And it's it's what you do on a Hail Mary. You want, best case scenario, maybe a guy in front and then a guy in back to see what happens. And it was the guy in back because they all kind of misjudged how far that ball was actually going.
Hence that 12 yards on the play before to McLaurin.
Because it came up just short of the goal line, but still where they were, the fact that it just tipped off their hands, it allowed it perfectly to fall to Brown.
I'm going to argue, or push back, argue is not the word. You said the team that could win a playoff game. I tell you, this is a team that could be in the NFC Championship game. I could make a case right now that they're the second best team in the NFC. The Lions feel to me that they're above everybody else right now. After that, why don't you tell me a team that you are absolutely convinced is better than them? Because I don't have one. Packers are nice. Vikings are good. Eagles are good. You got one that absolutely is better than Washington right now?
I'm not convinced. Yeah. No. And I'm excited because we're going to get a chance to see down the stretch. They play the Eagles in 3 weeks in Philadelphia.
Okay.
They'll get a chance in the second to last week of the season to play the Falcons. And, yeah, they are set up.
Yeah, they are. They go Giants, Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys, Titans, Saints.
Yeah, this is a good football team that could have a unbelievable record and expectations to win multiple playoff games.
Dan Quinn, Coach of the Year.
Hmm?
I mean, maybe. He's your coach of the year right now. Early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it him? It would have been
and this is also why
Kevin O'Connell 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell and he still may win it.
Still there. It's with Sam Darnold. But this is why you play young quarterbacks for this moment. It's there's been so much talk about you're ruining too many of these guys early on bad teams. You're not giving them a chance to develop. They should sit, but it's because of a moment like this. It's what Houston got with C.J. Stroud. It's what the Bears and Commanders are getting with their rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to go with it.
Yeah, that's right. I got a good buddy who's a Steeler fan. Says, stop saying good things about Mike Tomlin. If they keep winning, he's coach of the year, isn't he? I mean, what he's doing with shuffling these quarterbacks, they're 5-2.
They could be easily after tonight 6-2, and you're still pissed off about Mike Tomlin.
I'm just saying, they were picked last in that division, right? They were. Just making sure I understand that. What do you make of the Jets, dude? Like, what do we do here? You just got to keep going forward, right? You just people. I heard today, you got to cut. Just cut him. If you can't trade Rodgers, just cut him. What do you cut him and go to Tyrod Taylor? What you're not cutting Aaron Rodgers. This one out of everywhere, like this was the absolute game of the week. If you were in a survivor pool and you had one left, this was your pick, right?
Like Jets gets the Patriots.
They're going to get healthy. They have to. They have to. It was either that or it was going to be the Ravens over the Browns. Aaron Rodgers, 17 of 28 for 233, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They didn't run the ball really well. Jacoby Brissett just did enough. I mean, you look at the offense. It's not like New England did a bunch. This is one where
they had 247 yards total offense in that game. Did the Patriots?
Yeah,
and they won. But the Jets are incredibly average. Aaron Rodgers isn't an average quarterback now, but it's name value. It's like you can't look past the name and see the real life expectations, which you should be able to see that by now.
By the way,
everyone was still there. Like, oh, they're going on a run. Look at the schedule. Not so fast.
All of a sudden, the schedule didn't look that easy because they play Thursday night at home against the Texans. Texas team who's in first place, and the Texans got to go on the road, but it's Thursday night up there. Then they got to go to Arizona. I like Arizona. They got to play a Colts team who's up and down. Then the Seahawks come in.
That Colts team, by the way, it's getting to Deshaun Watson territory. Like, you can't keep telling me that quarterback gives you the best chance.
Look, I've been on that train for a long time. And that's a quarterback. I can't remember the last time I saw a quarterback tap his helmet, say, I need a breather. And it was on third down. You bring in a cold Joe Flacco to try a key third down, and my quarterback needs a rest. And so I bring in Joe Flacco, who's cold, so I hand the ball off, and then I got a punt, and I lose by 3. Or I know that was a field goal. I got to kick a field goal.
10 of 32 passing.
Dude, he's not it.
Like, that dude that is a guy that needs to sit now. Like, we've seen it. He needs to develop, and you're like, well, you need reps. Well, that is not getting positive reps right now. Like, that dude needs to take a backseat to Joe Flacco for a while.
Okay, I understand he is an insane athlete. An incredible specimen Anthony Richardson is. Right? He has played so little football in his life. And this is the exact argument that people make. You got your Orlovskis and those guys, your quarterback experts who break everything down. But, okay, if I stood Bo Nix next to Anthony Richardson in the airport or in your office or wherever, and you tell me, who do you want? It's easy, right? Give me that specimen, dude. Give me Anthony Richardson. I want a dude who looks like that, who's 6'4", 244. Let me see him throw a ball. Oh, my goodness, he just threw it out of the gym. Like, that's the dude I want. But he barely played football. Like, he played a part of a season at Florida.
It was like, I think they've discussed it coming in. It was like 13 games.
Right.
Since, like, high school that he started before getting to the NFL. And this is the case of take a step back. Like, there's still something there, but it's not going to be there because you look at the last 2 games. We're talking about an NFL quarterback.
Mhm.
They have bad games. They go through slumps. He's completing 35% of his passes.
Yeah,
so he went 10 of 24 against the Dolphins, 10 of 32 against Houston.
So that's 20 of 56 in 2 games. JJ, I know that this has been said about a lot of players, and I know they said about Lamar Jackson coming out. Can he be a really good football player, but just not a good quarterback?
I think he can be a quarterback.
He just needs to develop.
This is legit.
So
you need to practice reps.
how do you develop
mental
this guy?
reset.
How do you get him in games? Like again, I'm going to go back to this. I don't care if it's C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. These guys have been playing quarterback at least since high school, right? At least, I mean, they come in and they've got 50, 60, 70, 100 games that they played football. And you could tell me, yeah, high school football's, but this is the development, right? This is how guys develop from a young age. They get instinctual. They get coached. When you're telling me a guy's played, what did you just tell me? 17 games.
And this is one where you just, because I understand the other side of it, where there's probably that sense in Indianapolis, like we just need to let this guy play football, even if it looks bad, like he needs the reps. But then what is practice for? What is development? Because this seems like one of the cases where if you're Indianapolis, like there's absolutely nothing there.
How do you
It was a good
develop-
thing that Jonathan Taylor came back, where they had some running game,
And he was over
outside of
100
Anthony
yards
Richardson, and
yesterday.
Jonathan Taylor looked good. But you have entire offensive skill position players that when Anthony Richardson is playing, they're not in the game. Like you can look at Josh Allen and say, "Oh, he went off, yeah, because he had a 69-yard touchdown," and that's what you're keeping your fingers crossed is that Anthony Richardson will hit a big play, but he won't hit anything else. That is now 1, 2, 3, 4 games this season of 1, 2, 3 of 5 that he's like played the entire game, where he's completed 10 or less passes.
Who do I put? I'm really fighting on my number 3 spot for biggest loser. I between them and the Jets. And you almost feel like you eliminate the Jets, but at some point, because I got them in Baltimore, an honorable mention. But I mean, I'm honestly struggling with this. They're 4-4. They're sitting there right in the thick of it.
I'm interested to see why you feel they would be the biggest loser.
Why?
As 5-point dogs.
But again, because it's a division. Because it's a division game, they think they're a division. If they win that game, they go to 5-3, and they tie Houston at 5-3. That was a game for first place. And to continue to watch the quarterback play that they're getting week in and week out, and come to a realization like, holy bleep, we're better with Joe Flacco, but we got to continue to play this guy. That's why I consider them absolute nominee for the biggest loser. I mean, that was the game. If they win the game, they lose by 3. They're tied for first. Now they're 2 games back, plus the tiebreakers against.
You're right. It was one of those games where watching it, like it was not as close as that 3-point score.
And, well, but it feels like a Texan game, right? It was the same week before, right? There they were all week when they lost.
Well, and
Packers.
speaking of the Texans too, Stephon Diggs goes down, non-contact knee injury. Nico Collins still on the IR. So.
All right. Well, if you're on the phones, I'm getting you right when we get back. I'm super late for this break, so I got to take that. And then want to hear what you have to say. 505-246-0610. Bronco Mendenhall due to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Appreciate you. Thank you for choosing to listen to us and remembering you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Mike, thanks for holding. You're on The Sports Animal. What's up, Mike? Let me do that again. Hi, Mike.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for taking my call, guys. Happy Monday morning to you.
Yeah.
Wanted to call to I got a few points, and then I got to clear my name. So you get all these texts and, kind of like, I guess, a little bit of harassment quotes, and everybody's name is Mike. So I'm going to start labeling myself Mike D, so I'm not confused with these people that are harassing you about your takes and your opinions. So, secondly, man, just how awful is it to watch the Chargers?
Yeah, they're rough.
I mean, they're just so boring. I mean, they won big against the Saints, but that's just unwatchable football. And it's something like the Colts, like you were just saying about with Anthony Richardson. You're like, holy cow, dude. I mean, Joe Flacco is like Captain Boring, but everybody else does so much better. Everything else is so much more exciting with Joe Flacco than Anthony Richardson. But like I said, I guess it's just the maturation process that people have to go through. And C.J. Stroud, too. This guy was on the top of everybody's MVP list. Boy, it looks like Nico Collins is the MVP. Or Joe Mixon. This guy's kind of disappeared without him. But my last take for the morning is think about how hungry those Browns fans were and the Browns players just to have anybody else in the locker room. And then Jameis Winston comes in, they get a big win. And that's kind of my take on the Rams. That Rams defense, just all this Aaron Donald talk forever. Those young guys on defense for the Rams are super hungry to make a statement. And now with the offense back together, man, I think the Rams are looking tough. Guys, have a great week. Thanks for taking my call.
Good, man. It is amazing how a couple of guys in a couple of positions, and this is where I always tell you, and I know it's one of my, I don't know if it's my favorite, but one of my most overused phrases, but players make plays, man. You know, you get Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp back, it's amazing how much better you look. You lose Nico Collins, it's amazing what a difference. Let me put it in other terms. You lose Luke Weissong, and it's amazing how different your damn offense looks, huh?
Yes. That's definitely a big talking point for the Lobos.
I mean, players make plays, man. That's why these big players, that's why the superstars get paid like superstars. And by the way, where's Amari Cooper? What is he doing? Is he going to be part of what the Bills do? I know they won the game. Did they target him one time? I thought
a guy that's been there a week and a half.
Yeah, but that's why I thought a week and a half later, I thought, okay, a full week of practice now, he'd get involved. That one stunned me. 2 targets. I'm sorry. 1 catch, 2 targets. Yeah, I got to temper my expectations there. All right. Where was I going with this? There was someone I wanted to go. Let me hit on this one, because I thought this was one of the most undervalued wins of the weekend. Kyler Murray goes on the road, goes 26 of 36, 307 and 2 touchdowns. Again, it's amazing what happens when you have Marvin Harrison Jr. back, isn't it?
Or you throw it to him.
Yeah. 111 yards, touchdown, 5 catches. And he's got a great tight end. Look, Miami, again, Miami got Tua back. It's amazing what happens when you get players back, right? I don't know if Miami can make a run. It feels to me like they might be a little too buried. But Tua makes a difference. And all the talk, and I listen to so much. What would you do if he was your brother? He's not, though. He's not your brother. He's not you don't know Tua Tagovailoa. Should he be playing? Should he not be playing? The man's decided he's going to play. He's a grown-ass man. He took all of the medical advice. Again, if I was advising, I'd probably say, hey, man, you got a beautiful family. You got a lot of money. If it was me, it's hard to sit here and say, because you don't, like he said, I don't want to be known as this guy. He wants to go out and win a Super Bowl. But they're 2-5 now, dude. Tua was back. The offense looked good. That's a great win for Arizona, though.
Yeah, Arizona is a team that you credit the last second drives we've seen to get game-winning field goals against the 49ers, and then in Miami in road situations for Kyler Murray, showing you flashes. They're going to be up and down, and that's what wild card teams usually are. I don't know if they have enough. Like I think I still like the ceiling of San Francisco and the Rams a little bit more than Arizona, but they put themselves in the position to stay in this race all season long.
You know, I'll tell you something. Their defense is okay. They got a really interesting quarterback who can be terrific and can be below average.
But he was terrific yesterday.
He was
that
terrific.
Was one of those games you're like, this is the guy that you're waiting for. Like, you just expect to see this guy every single week because he has everything offensively around him.
To that point, He's got a really good battering ram, tough running back in Connor. He's got maybe, I don't know, today's best pass catching tight end in the NFL. I mean, him, Kittle. Who are the best pass catching tight ends in the NFL right now? And there's a bunch of them.
George Kittle.
Boy, they had a day yesterday.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers.
This guy right there, man, Trey McBride.
Hmm.
He's got a stud young receiver. He's got decent complementary receivers in Wilson and Dortch and whatever. They got a puncher's chance every week. And you go out and look at the games that they lost. Yeah, the Rams blew them. No, they blew the Rams out. They lose on the road in opening week to the Bills. They lose by a touchdown to the team you think is the best in the NFC, the Lions. Commanders just jumped them, and the Packers jumped them. They're Jekyll and Hyde, man. And it's going to be interesting because you got a Bears team, and I want to see how the Bears respond next week. They go Bears, Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Seahawks. They got an interesting run, too. There's so many things I want to see next week. I want to see how a young Bears team responds to just getting choked out like that. A game that they had won, I'm just telling you, there's going to be uncomfortable moments in the meeting room today with Stevenson and how all that went down. They're going to have to look at the tape of the first half of their offense, how it didn't move, and how their defense let that thing get away. How is this young team? Who are the leaders going to be? How much of a presence is Matt Eberflus?
Those are all fair questions. I think you look at the edges of that team. There's a lot of veterans.
Yeah.
Like I think
the DJ Moores,
like
the DeAndre Swifts.
Confident that they'll be okay.
Okay, I think so too. They got to go to Arizona next week and play a team that feels pretty good about themselves. All right, when we come back, I want to talk about college football over the weekend and how the number one team in the country did. Diego Pavia almost did it again. It's just kind of crazy. We got a head coach being fired. We got a head coach scolded for reprimanded for scolding the officials in the Mountain West. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Bronco Mendenhall due to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock this morning on the 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Do you know your number? No, not your credit score number, not your sleep number bed, but...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
How much, I mean, I think they already may, but how much more the Mountain West is going to rue the scheduling agreement with the PAC teams, with Oregon State and Washington. So opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Bucks. You have three teams who are right now unbeaten in the Mountain West Conference in standings. Boise State, San Diego State, Boise State and San Diego State play this week, and Colorado State. And I think the majority of you believe Boise State and probably UNLV are the two best teams in the league, right? They played last Friday. Really good game Friday night. Really good game. 29-24, Boise State won. Colorado State's rest of their schedule is against Nevada, who is improved, but okay, it's on the road. A Wyoming team who's 1-7, I believe, at Fresno State and Utah State. Colorado State could run the table, dude, and be in the championship game at 7-0 against Boise State, and UNLV gets left out. Now, that Fresno State's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a tough game for them to win at Fresno State. But if they win that game at Fresno State, I mean, don't you see them running the table? And this is the issue with only 7 league games and having 12 teams in your league, right? Fresno State's 3-1. UNLV's 2-1 in league play. Colorado State, it's really, really, really interesting. Over the weekend, Boise State beats UNLV in the Mountain West 29-24 on Friday night. Ashton Genty had 33 carries for 128 yards and a touchdown. Elsewhere in the Mountain West, over the weekend, Colorado State beat New Mexico, as you know, 17-6. Fresno State over San Jose State, 33-10. San Diego State snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, JJ. They had Washington State beat. Cougars beat San Diego State 29-26. And Hawaii wins late night out on the islands, 34-13. So both those, Nevada's 0-3 in conference. And then Utah State beat Wyoming 27-25. And this was an interesting one. Mountain West Conference has issued a public reprimand. What does that mean, dude? They put it in your file? Next time you get fined, what?
Probably increases the fines next time.
Increases it, maybe. Wyoming's football coach, Jay Sawvell, got reprimanded for his criticism of the game officials. There was a play, and there was a 30-yard penalty, man. They called Wyatt Eckler for pass interference and then hit Sawvell for an unsportsmanlike, and it set up a touchdown. They lose on a last-second field goal. And he said, quote, I thought it was a pretty quick trigger, too. I don't want to say a whole bunch about that stuff because, to be honest, right now I'm a horse bleep head coach, and I think we've had some horse bleep officiating. Okay. Might all be true. 505-246-0610. Next up for the Lobos, they get that Wyoming team. They'll be in University Stadium this Saturday. Rudy will probably be there. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. Well, that was a frustrating game Saturday.
Mm-hmm. At least Michigan beat Michigan State.
Not like I don't understand why UNM is just always on the wrong end of a bad call. That was not
the lateral. Yeah, the lateral was a tough call.
And then somebody's out there with a whistle, and then they're simulating snap counts, and all that's okay. And Nicolosi Fowler can pull out his guns and shoot him twice, and there's no penalty.
I didn't even see that. But look, first of all, the fact that JJ, evidently there was a fan in the stands with a whistle. That's not okay. It's just not okay. Oh yeah, we didn't hear that. I mean, Devin Dampier flat out stopped playing during a play.
Yeah, we don't get that play back.
Yeah. Well, and it was a third down play, and it was.
And then,
yeah.
But it's pretty hard to ask for any sympathy when you put the ball on the ground and you throw interceptions and you fumble and you don't play very good on offense. If you'd have told me before the game that UNM would only score 6 points, I'd have told you you're on crack.
Yeah.
So, hey, so much to talk about. What a weekend of sports. Friday night, why do you walk Mookie Betts to pitch to Freddie Freeman?
Well, I mean, look, that's that lineup, but it's a couple of things. It sets up a force play everywhere. It was left on left. It was, I mean, it's baseball strategy, right? And you bring in a guy who hadn't pitched in a month, and first pitch, gone. And
it wasn't gone. He tagged that.
Yeah.
That thing was a bullet out of there. And when you want to look up the term delirious, look at the stands in Dodger Stadium after that one. That was something else. So Michigan pulls it off. Still no offense. No. I guess they scraped enough together to beat Michigan State.
Yep.
And then finally, tonight it all starts, doesn't it? Lobo basketball. So
yep.
For all the people who've been waiting, this is it.
It's your national holiday or your state holiday. Yep. It's going to be a good week, man. Appreciate you.
Yes.
See you.
Take care.
Yeah, Michigan beat Michigan State. Child had a good night. The text I get, why do we suck, Dad? And then all of a sudden they're up. We're back.
We're back, baby.
I got that text too. And then they're throwing punches at the end of that game. Grown men throwing punches at dudes wearing helmets. All right, Bronco Mendenhall is scheduled to be with us coming up in 19 minutes from now. Coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, we'll talk with the Lobo coach. Jay, what did you think of the lateral call? I don't know how they reversed that call. I thought it was, and how you, but how do you make it if you're watching it on video? You've got the angles. How does that happen? That's just a bad call, right?
Yes.
I mean, that of all of them, like the whistle in the stand thing, I don't know what can you do at that point? You can't give them the playback.
No.
I don't know what you're allowed to do at that point. Can you penalize the home team?
At some point, you should be able to, because you can penalize the home team for
fan interaction, right?
Throwing things on the field.
Right.
You can delay game penalties. Yes, that should be on the table. If there's a fan blowing a whistle in the stands constantly, then that you need to start penalizing the home team.
I thought
because then they will start searching for that person.
I thought the lateral play was really, really key early because it forced you to punt, right? It shut down a big play. I thought that was a really how you looked back at video and determined that was beyond me. And then the whistle call was really, really, really rough. 505-246-0610. We'll talk to Bronco Mendenhall coming up at 9 o'clock on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler.
Diego Pavia, 16-29, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He ran for the other 67 yards and a touchdown. I'm thinking, is he going to do it again? Like, some of the stuff he does is insane. And watching that place, it's like, you never watched a Vanderbilt game in your life, did you? Like, I know. And why would you? They're kind of, I don't want to say must watch, but kind of should watch TV.
In those moments, absolutely.
I thought he might do it again. I really did. And I know Steve Sarkisian thought that too. That was a hard-fought Texas win. Vanderbilt's 5-3, 2-2 in conference. They need one more win to get bowl eligible. They got Auburn this week. They got Auburn, South Carolina, so they got to probably win one of the next two. Although you don't put anything past them, they get LSU and Tennessee after that. LSU loses to Texas A&M, a huge loss for LSU. And what was the other one that was really? Did you catch the end of the SMU?
Duke game.
Duke game. Did you catch the end of that? So my guy who hits me all the time about the curse of the New Mexico Bowl stuff. BYU and SMU are doing pretty well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
BYU's undefeated, I think, ranked 11th and headed to the playoff as of now.
Yeah, so Duke was lining up for a game-winning field goal, was blocked, goes to overtime. SMU scores, Duke scores, and then Duke decides to go for 2.
Yep.
Try to win the game right there, get stopped. Good night.
I'm going to see Duke this week play Miami, Miami's undefeated and ranked 6th in the country. And they put it on Florida State. There's no argument the most disappointing team. And I don't know if you recall opening day. Florida State was in Ireland playing Georgia Tech. And Florida State was in everybody's playoff. If you go back and look at all these preseason projections, Florida State was in everybody's projection. If ever, JJ, 12 people in a boardroom destroyed a program, right? They were undefeated when their quarterback went down. Why am I forgetting the guy who's back of the Bills right now? Or not the Bills, the Jets.
Jordan Travis?
Thank you. Jordan Travis. When Jordan Travis went down. They were undefeated and killing fools. They got left out of the playoff, got beaten the Sugar Bowl, 63-3 or whatever it was with the Sugar Bowl? Might have been the Chick-fil-A Bowl, whichever bowl they were in. Might have been the Orange Bowl for that matter. I think it was the Orange Bowl. They're 1-7. This was a program that was ready to take the step. Remember all the off-season, we're better than this league. We need more money. We want out of this league. They've won one game, and they barely got by Cal 14-9. Like they're that much away from being them, and Kent State is the only teams in America without a win. How the hell did that happen? Does Jay Norvell survive this? I mean, he's making a lot of money.
Mike?
I mean, yeah, Jay's the one at Colorado State. Mike Norvell.
Jay's turning it around, by the way. They were ready to fire him 3 weeks ago.
I know, and now they're 5-3, and they're undefeated in league play. I will tell you this, and somebody made a good point, and I don't know where I heard this. Maybe it was on game day. I think in this offseason, you're going to see athletic directors and presidents not as quick to fire coaches, because eating those contracts like you did with Jimbo Fisher, like you did with Ed Orgeron. Where's the door? You're going to give me all $17 million worth of door. You kick me in the ass, get me out of here, right? With the House settlement coming down, with all the money that's going to the revenue sharing, as much money as all these athletic departments are pulling in, it isn't there to pay $30, $40, $50, $70 million buyouts to coaches. And while you saw Rice fire their coach this weekend, I think it's a pretty good point. You're probably going to see some places be a little bit more patient with coaches who have big buyouts. And it makes sense, doesn't it?
Not at all.
You don't think so?
Patience in college athletics is There's people willing to put up the money to have someone go away there.
Dude, that's a lot of money, though. Okay, so the guy at Rice is getting $900,000. Rice will find $900,000. What Mike Norvell's going to be due? I mean, we'll see. Mike Norvell's buyout at Florida State is trying to find it. It's $63 million.
Nothing.
You stop. $63 million to make the man go away. By the way, Kirby Smart's buyout right now is $118 million. Kalen DeBoer's is $70 million. But yeah, Florida State would owe him $63.7 million. Bronco Mendenhall is next, the Lobo football coach. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. We're going to talk to him about what he saw on tape from last week. See if we can get an update on Luke Wysong and Wyoming next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ozera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes with.
I don't know what they're allowed to do at that point, but obviously somebody in the stands had a whistle.
Yeah, I'm not sure who had it, but a whistle was blown. I heard it. Our team heard it. Anyone on our sideline heard it. However, as I've gone through that, and you asked me what I've been told, and following up the day after the game, the officials, the crew of officials said they did not hear it. There was an official on our side that you actually started moving forward as if he did hear it. But in clarification and follow-up, I was told that unless the referee or the white hat hears the whistle, if he hears it, he can stop play and redo the play. If he doesn't, there's really no penalty for that. I was then told when I came out at halftime, whistles, I'm not sure if it's whistle or whistles, were confiscated. So obviously it did happen, but pretty frustrating because, the result of the play still occurred. And, that's just those are challenging things. Road atmospheres are difficult, and I have to steel my team's resolve against any external things. When it comes to a whistle that's pretend, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
And so, that's where it stands.
Well, it can get your quarterback hurt too. I mean, he stopped playing. Like he you could see it during the play. And then the lateral, I looked at it like we all did. You listened. It was Colorado State announcers like, there's nothing to reverse. I'm sure you've looked at it. I don't know how they possibly overturned that call.
Similar. I've seen it. You can't look at it more times than I've seen it, and I didn't see enough, number one, to reverse it, nor did I think it was forward. I'm not sure where else that goes. Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, you outgained them. You still had chances to win the game. The penalties and the turnovers are correctable things, but boy, they sure came at the worst possible time for your offense.
They did. Three of the drives were stalled because of penalties in this particular game, and who would have thought 6 points is all we would yield. Turnovers in the red zone, certainly red zone scoring altered by penalties. And in this particular game, all the penalties were on our offensive side, including a PAT field goal. We went out and added an additional man and miscounted. So that was still kind of an offensive orientation. But that alone, as my message to the team was, we control our future, we control the outcome, we control the destiny of this program and this season. And when you have penalties at critical times, pre-snap penalties, and if you turn the ball over frequently, and give Colorado State credit in terms of a goal line stand, also you add that together with the punt return, and we just didn't simply play clean enough, well enough to win the game on the road, regardless of injuries, external environment, or anything else.
No, Coach, you did have Luke Weisland go out early. Devin Dampier still goes over 300 yards. How did you see the offense respond and step up, losing that type of playmaker on the outside?
Oh, Oh man, that's a tough one to put into words. So Luke is not only a tremendous playmaker and a production leader on our team. There's a competitive spirit and a leadership component that Luke brings that's really exceptional. So players did step up, and probably in one particular case, we've seen Ryan Davis through the entire year just be so effective. But in this game, Michael Buckley, we got to him, and he's been great in practice, and our defensive players think he's a very good player. And so he goes in, not only catches punts, but has a productive day receiving, and the moment wasn't too big for him. You know, many times you hear the term preparation, when preparation meets opportunity. Some people call that luck. In this case, it was nothing lucky about it. Buck was just ready to step up and help. And we know in the running back room as well, right, where we have some injuries there. And so Devin ended up having to carry more of the load in the run game as well as the pass game. And so it wasn't a matter of yardage or moving the ball. It was just simply some self-destructive things and execution things. Quite frankly, but as the head coach, I'm working diligently to address. Just haven't got deep enough with this team for those things to hold. Meaningful game on the road, chance to win another conference game, and just too many mistakes.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned what you saw from Devin, and one of those was just you trust him moving forward, of course, to cover up that football when he had the fumble, but just the turnovers. What are you seeing there from him in those situations? Whether it's missed read, someone falling down, all the things that can happen with those things.
Yeah, none of them were misreads or anything else. That was just our quarterback trying to win the game, and with a little bit of a shorthanded crew around him, and a really tight game, just really trying to do everything he could, which in some cases was just a hair too much. And I'm not going to fault him for that. We'll correct, we'll move on. He was just trying to help us win.
Lobo football coach Bronco Mendenhall with us for a few more minutes on These Sports Animal. Talked about Luke going out. What's his status? Will you have him for Wyoming?
I don't know. And at this time in the season, I think I'm not the only coach, but you coach a different roster pretty much every week at this point. And I'm really happy for our kids that they have all these meaningful games left, and there's still so much in front of them. But the roster is changing, and it's changing week to week and morphing. And so myself and our coaching staff, you have to predict as much as possible based on injury reports, adjust as much as you can. Gosh, players have to step up, and you have to innovate to keep finding a way to get wins. And that's right where we are.
You got a lot to play for. You're 3-5, and there's 4 games left with Wyoming coming in, and to get a home game. And look, you've won 3 of your last 4, and I understand only 6 points on the board. Put up 453 points of offense. So, what's the message to your team headed into Wyoming with still a whole lot left of the season?
I framed that this morning in our team meeting, and there's such a bright future for the program, and even a chance for a great season still, based on our finish. And there's no reason not to believe that can't happen. So the 6 points really pales in comparison to the 50 for 3 weeks in a row prior. So we really have to now assess who we're going to have healthy to play, put the best plan in place to use those players against this opponent, and then play complementary and cleaner football to give us our best chance to win. And we'll battle right to the end. And I think everyone knows that. I mean, if anyone expects us to show up and not have a great chance to play and win against whoever we play, I don't think they've been watching us. So we're viewing it just like that for another game.
Yeah, can we talk about your defense, because they've been so this every week you talk about what they didn't do. They give up 17 points. They give 334 yards is pretty commendable. In fact, they didn't give up 17 because one was a punt return. They gave up 10 points. Your defense, I'm going to guess when you looked at the tape, that was the best they've played all year.
It was the most consistent they've played, and there have been stretches they've played like that or better throughout these other spans. But then some of the inconsistencies or big plays, would creep in, and the points would then overshadow some improvements. The improvement hasn't been lost on us. So again, as you mentioned, it was 10 points because of the punt return for a touchdown, and no points in the second half, third or fourth quarter. And so they were battling, and they were especially good on third down. and defending the deep shots and play action. We did give up the one touchdown on the day with a miscommunication, but the consistency they played with and the production, especially on third down, got us off the field, got us the ball back, and kept giving us a chance to win. Gosh, all the way. You couldn't have convinced me midway through the fourth quarter we still weren't going to win, just because of how they were playing. And so I'm so happy for them. They've been working like crazy. Everyone knows the improvement they need to make. And what better time for that to happen for this last stretch in these final 4 regular season games. And man, was it needed because of some of the injuries we had offensively.
Now, Coach, what leads to consistency on defense when a unit starts to put it together play after play?
Yeah, it really is time, energy, and effort, and experience. And so each offense brings new plays, new concepts, new challenges that highlight and kind of stretch different defensive personnel. And sometimes a given player is playing consistent until he sees a scheme that kind of targets him in some very unique ways, and he's either ready or not to handle those on a consistent basis. And sometimes, and especially in the secondary, one inconsistent play at the wrong time, gosh, points go on the board pretty fast. So we're molding, we're training, we're teaching, we're reinforcing, we're building. And again, I have seen improvement through the course of the year, and it was just fun to see that hold in a pretty tough environment in a meaningful game, and a unit that helped us stay in it all the way to the end, which I'm proud of them for that. It's a great lesson for everyone just to keep working.
Really good opportunity on Saturday. Wyoming will be at University Stadium. It's a 2:00 kickoff, an opportunity for Lobo fans to come out. You got 2 more opportunities to see this team at home with a lot to play for. And I know you'd love to see a crowd. And you mentioned earlier in the year, you know, whenever people want to jump on and appreciate Lobo football, you're ready for them. This would be a pretty good time for fans to jump on.
Well, we would love it. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's needed. Everyone's invited. You know, our fans get to choose when they jump on. But this team is trying really hard. Tons to play for, not only conference race but postseason, and they believe they can do it. And so, any support and all the support we could get, we would appreciate, and we'll keep trying to play in a manner that will earn that.
Always appreciate the conversation. Go get them against Wyoming. Have a great week, Bronco. Thank you for the time.
Thanks so much, you guys. See you later.
Be well.
Bye.
He's Bronco Mendenhall, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. That conversation was sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal care and attention you deserve for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500. A lot there. JJ, I don't want to lose sight of you lose the game, and everything was about, wow, they've been scoring 50 points and they only scored 6.
The defense, man.
And that's where, they were so embattled, right? Everything is about how bad the defense was. Defense played really, really well. Really well.
Played exceptional. You look at down, they only gave up 14 first downs. What they did limiting the big plays, it was the best defensive performance. Number-wise, with easy.
Period.
Easy.
Like period. Yeah. And you can respond to what Bronco had to say when we come back. 505-246-0610 on the opening drive. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Uncle gives us on Monday mornings 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Talking about Michael Buckley, the receiver who had a really nice game for New Mexico last week, and maybe you get more, 7 catches, 90 yards for a guy. And the text line says Michael Buckley, I believe, is from Mexico. That makes his story really neat and should get our Hispanic fans on board with not only him but the team. He is from Cabo. He moved to the United States, JJ, by himself at 16 years old so he could play football. And he went to Southern California, and he played at Santa Margarita High School and had a hell of a game. So, look, I think there's promise there. Again, nobody's going to sit here and tell you this is the best team in the league or they're winning a national championship. They've got an opportunity to do some good things. They had a setback last week, and the setback was they scored 6 points. Give Colorado State credit, but they had a lot of penalties and turnovers in the red area. I thought two moments of whistles. I say whistles because they were in the stands. But again, what do you think about his explanation on both of those, the whistle and then the overturn of the lateral?
The lateral one is just going to be so tough to see because it just seems so clear and evident. And those are the words you hear them talk about. Just clear. And so I'm really not sure with that. The whistle one, it just sounds like they made a mistake initially, but they didn't want to admit it because you said you saw one ref act like you heard something. But then at that point, too, it's if it happens multiple times, you have to talk to the refs about it. Flags have to start being thrown, but then they said they found it. So,
well, to that point, if in fact the one ref did hear it, that one ref then is obligated to go to the white hat, the referee, the white hat, the one you see on TV, the one with a mic, and say, yeah, no, I heard it. We need to replay it. Right? I mean, that's the obligation of that part of the crew. On the lateral, JJ, we were listening to the Colorado State broadcast. That's who does when it's Mountain West Network games. It's like when George and I do Mountain West Network games. It's New Mexico's crew. That was a clearly Homer broadcast, right? I mean, they did a nice job of. But I mean, they were Colorado State based. They had the president on. The athletic director was in the booth. I mean, that's fine. That's how that is. But even they were saying, yeah, there's nothing here to overturn. And then we were all surprised when they came back. How they looked at that and saw a forward pass, I just don't know, and that killed the drive. But that's, again, you had a lot of opportunities after that. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610, if for whatever reason you're still paying a toll. Dan says, pre-recorded JJ and Ned James. Jeffrey, we could try that on the OD. When you need a response, turn on the tape recorder and hear a pre-recorded JJ. Look, man, what do you want the guy to do? Yeah, he was calling a live. You called a live event on the Sports Animal. You had Lobo women's basketball, and so you recorded portions of the pregame show, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the problem? I thought it sounded great. Actually,
well, it doesn't change what we would talk about.
No, you talked about the exact same thing
on Saturday, or if we just had to do what we had to do for pregame.
Yeah, and I was driving around and I listened to it and I thought it sounded great because I knew what was going on and I wanted to hear if I could tell the difference. It
sounded the same because we would have been in the same studio.
It sounded the same as it always did, which is great. Yes. Lobo Hobo's pissed off. Lobo Athletics can't get out of their own way because he thinks Lobo Athletics schedules league games. What are we doing, Jeffy? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Lobo basketball and Lobo football are at the Aztecs. They both play the same post time late next Friday night. This feels like another self-inflicted wound. P.S. How is the current announcer going to call two games at the same time? Well, he's not, and it's not their fault. So next Friday, Lobo football plays at San Diego State, and Lobo basketball plays UCLA in Las Vegas. JJ, the Vegas game was a TV thing, right? Who's the TV on that? Is it CBS Sports? I'll tell you who it is. And the football game was selected by the network. It's going to be CBS Sports Network for the basketball. So I'm going to guess FS1's got the football. And that's just how, I mean, you don't, like, when you guys kind of understand this, and I know it bothers you and you think you get to schedule your own stuff and your own game times. And this is imperfect. It absolutely is. Because these are two big games, especially if the Lobos win football this weekend. Right? The San Diego State game becomes gigantic for postseason potential. And obviously playing basketball against UCLA is gigantic.
Yeah.
Right?
Split screen night.
It's a 2 TV or split screen night. But Lobo Hobo, this is highly imperfect. But this isn't something that's within their control. You got two games on national TV, by the way. You got two games on national TV, and the networks. When you sign your grant of rights, the networks control when and where you're going to when and where you're going to play, what time. So yeah, it's imperfect. As far as Rob being able to do both, he won't. Rob's going to be in San Diego for football, and I will have a call with Hunter for basketball from Henderson, Nevada. So I get a game this year. Kind of stoked about it.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I get that one. And so I'll do the basketball against UCLA. Everybody's telling me you got to take a picture with Mick Cronin.
We'll see if he's interested in that. Maybe.
I know. Are you concerned about the dividers, Jeff? They're limping into the state tournament. United loses to Memphis in their finale. They are the number 1 seed in the West. USL playoffs start on Sunday for New Mexico United. They will host Phoenix Rising. Am I concerned? No. I mean, they've been the best team in the West and decisively so all year. I would assume that carries on. Now you got a rival coming in for a playoff and a rival who's played you pretty tough. I don't think anything's a gimme when you're playing 1-0 and 2-1 and 3-2 games all the time, right?
Well, and especially in single elimination
right
format, even as a top seed.
Right. Jack's upset about women's soccer. They should be better than this, Jeff. Heather Dyke should be better than needing a point from a draw in Laradice to hang on to the final spot in the tournament in a one big league. JJ?
Give her some NIL money then.
Fair enough. Yes. Ken says the world needs new refs. I'm glad the coach at Wyoming finally had the guts to call it the horse bleep officiating in the Mountain West Conference. Okay, and they called him out. All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to go out and see your boys today on Two Men On, they'll be at Howie's Sports page, 4 o'clock. You can listen to them here on the Sports Animal. We'll start the Sports Animal Audible next week. You got a chance to win stuff every single day. All right, when we get back, jumping back into the NFL, and I got my biggest winners and losers of the week, because that's what we do right about 9:30 on Monday. See how you feel about who I think the biggest winners of the week are. The biggest losers of the week are in the National Football League. Meanwhile, don't be a loser and have your home broken into. That doesn't make you a loser, but you lose when somebody breaks into your home. Call IPS. Have them protect what you've worked so hard to build, your home, your business. Look, I get it. If you've been a victim of a break-in home business, you understand it. And if you haven't, you know someone who has. But it takes a long, long time for police to respond. They just don't have enough officers to cover all the calls that they get for service. But when it's you, when it's your home and your business, you need a quicker response. IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. When an alarm goes off at a place that they monitor, they're there within 7 minutes or less. They've got officers strategically placed all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. They react quickly, and many times they catch criminals in the act. They detain them and call the police to come pick them up. IPS provides standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock, and they install alarms and camera systems. They have a state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7, and it raises the security level around your properties. I trust IPS. I have for years. They're there every single day. So don't be a victim, and don't wait to be a victim. Call IPS. Protect what you've worked so hard to build. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots?
Bronco Mendenhall, and he did not really say anything specifically about Luke. He said, I don't know. It's a different roster every week, and don't know the status, and didn't get into what the injury was. Did it look like an ankle to you? It looked like an ankle got rolled. Is that what it looked like to you?
Ankle, knee, could have been anything in that area. I know there was a lot of talk. Of course, you're upset as a fan seeing that. It seemed
late. It was late.
It was late.
It was
kind of running through.
There's no argument. It was out of bounds. Yeah. But the text line says Luke Weissong's injury. We asked, right? I mean, specifically status we have him for Wyoming, and Bronco talked about the roster overall, and that's Bronco doesn't talk about specific injuries. He doesn't give you updates on that, and so I guess they're going to be very, very hush hush on that. But I don't know the answer. But we did ask the question. All right, 505-246-0610. Before I get into winners and losers, Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello.
Man, I hope I make your winners list, Jeff. It's something I look forward to every week. Hey, I know Cowboy fans are down and some fan bases like the Bears, but no matter how bad you feel this morning, you can't feel as bad as Dwayne Wade in the statue that they unveiled.
How horrible is that? Like, who is that dude?
Why are statues still a thing?
I don't even mind that they're still a thing, but
it looks so terrible.
It looks like nothing like the dude that it's supposed to.
Did they get the guy that made the Ronaldo one to make that one?
I mean,
yeah, that's awesome.
It's. I swear to God, when I saw that on Twitter yesterday, and they said this is Dwayne Wade's, I thought it was some sort of a spoof. I kept looking for the punchline, and then I'm like, whoa, that really is. What the hell is that? Yeah, that's horrible,
guys. Larry David, who wrote the Seinfeld episodes and Curb Your Enthusiasm, he couldn't find better content than the unveiling of that statue. It was like a Seinfeld episode. And like JJ said, it makes Ronaldo's look like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
That was so bad. It was embarrassing. Wade looked at it. He's like, who is that?
Right.
It was awesome.
It's so bad, you
anyway,
guys. Yeah.
I try to look for the humor in life, my friends.
Yeah.
So, JJ said something very astute early in the first hour regarding Dak Prescott, and they pay him to be a false multiplier. Maybe he didn't use that term, but they're paying him to be an elevator. And then last night, Collinsworth stated, and one of your callers stated this, the college game has made its way to the NFL. When I watch NFL football on Sunday, we've watched Mahomes win 3 Super Bowls, throwing 3-yard passes, bubble screens, and scrambling on 3rd and 8s. He's won 3 Super Bowls doing that. And it's a function of the college game, right? So the NFL game has evolved. Dak Prescott doesn't demonstrate the ability to move in the pocket and scramble. And so they're falling behind the curve. And like I told Cowboys when they got blown out the first few weeks, there's a lower bottom.
Well,
this is the beginning. Go ahead, Jeff.
So what do you say? Because JJ said, and he's not wrong, Jared Goff doesn't get out of the pocket. Matthew Stafford doesn't get out of the pocket.
You're right. And by way of the conventional pocket quarterback, there's still a few exceptions. If your roster is amazing and you could navigate that offense,
But that's why the insurgence of all these young quarterbacks, like Washington's and Chicago's, and Josh Allen plays that way. I think the league's evolving quickly, and Mahomes and the Chiefs have just been ahead of the curve. But if your quarterback can't make, by the way, when Montana was a rookie, and all his amazing things that he accomplished, they asked their coach, "Hey, what's the number one advice that you gave him?" And he said, "Make the first guy miss. Make the first guy that rushes into the pocket, make him miss because it extends the offense." And that's what we're seeing now. So anyway, I thought I'd share that levity with you this morning. And I certainly appreciate you letting me share my thoughts. Have a great day.
Thank you. Look, the statue is so bad, dude.
The statue is terrible. It's I'm not a big statue person anyway, but when they try to have the exact recreation of someone, it's you gotta. I guess you get what you pay for.
Oh.
So I don't know who's in that business or who's the best when it comes to making statues look like people, but that one wasn't it. Now, to reinforce what I was saying about Dak Prescott, it's not just because Goff and Stafford do it, but it's also what you build around them. And this roster, when you have Dak, who's strictly a pocket guy now, like you can still win games from the pocket, but you have to build that around him. And with zero running game, with a lack of explosiveness outside of CeeDee Lamb, we all know that Dak isn't the ultimate elevator, and we're just seeing the deficiencies of this team. Dak's not at fault. The offense just be a show of themselves, and you see a defense that is hurt playing from behind in that third quarter. Man, told you the difference between the two teams.
Yeah. All right, you want winners and losers?
Yes.
All right, here's and this was not easy this week. I'm going to start winners. 3 biggest winners of the weekend in the National Football League. Honorable mention, Philly, because and I really wanted to slide Philly in there, and I almost did instead of number 3, but Philly, all I hear is, wow, their head coach is an idiot, and Philly keeps winning, dude. Philly's 5-2, and they went on the road and won again, and they were impressive in winning this week. And Jalen Hurts felt like he was back, and they beat a Cincinnati team that everybody keeps telling me is really good, but you can stop telling me they're really good, by the way. But so they're honorable mention, as is Houston, because of the way they won, and it was a division game. Number 3, biggest winner of the weekend to me is Atlanta. And they go 4-0 against division rivals. They've got 2 wins over the Bucs. That game was huge. That game, it just, as far as the standings, they go 5-3. So it's a 1-game lead over Tampa Bay, but it's really a 2-game lead. And I understand it was a beat-up Tampa Bay team, but Kirk Cousins throwing 4 touchdowns, and he's got more touchdowns against the Buccaneers this season in 2 games than he does against the rest of the league in 6 games, which is amazing. But they found the tight end in this game. They were able to intercept Baker Mayfield. I understand that Tampa Bay was depleted, but it's a huge win for Atlanta to take control of that division. So they're number 3. Number 2 for me is Arizona, going across the country and winning and coming back and winning again. Tua came back. All the emotion was there. They get a second week in a row. They get a field goal as time expires. They got a big game out of their quarterback and Kyler Murray, over 300 yards. They found Marvin Harrison, and to go on the road and win and come back. And by the way, to put them into first place in their division, it puts them in the mix. And I thought it was a gigantic, gigantic victory. And then number 1 is Washington, because they just gave you the play of the year. I mean, that is the play of the year. But not only was it just the play of the year, it's a play of the year that keeps them in first place, that they were down. It showed composure. You had a quarterback who all week was questionable with this rib injury. You found a way to win when you shouldn't have. I thought they got beat and handled in the second half. I thought the Bears were better than them in the second half. And with 29 seconds to go, and Jim Nantz telling me what a great win this is for Chicago, to find a way to win. And to win on an emotional thing like that, that's the kind of stuff that launches you. The way they came back, it's the biggest highlight of the year, and that makes them, and what it does for them to put them in top the standings. It's the difference between being in first place and second place. So they're my number 1 winner. So I got Washington, Arizona, Atlanta.
All for the right reasons. I think that Arizona game, because there's so much with Tua coming back, igniting the offense. It's a road trip, and Arizona's that's who they're going to be this season. There are times you're going to want to pull out your hair expecting so much more from them, but when they're clicking offensively, they can be so good. Get a chance to have another late game drive that sets up game-winning field goal. They've done it twice now on the road in San Francisco and in Miami. And the Eagles team, I think, is really a fascinating team because there's so much noise with the coach, but they are just as talented as anyone else in the NFC.
And they keep winning.
We talk about the top team.
And they're 5-2, man. And they're 5-2. All right, biggest losers of the weekend. I got two honorable mentions. One of them was Indianapolis. I just, with a quarterback needing a rest on a big third down play and losing by 3, it's a division game. It's the difference between first. I just thought that was a game that was there for them to win. And the other honorable mention is Baltimore. And I say Baltimore, and the reason I don't put them in, I always look at this as a big picture thing. So I think Baltimore's going to be okay. But to lose that game to that team is a bad loss. I just don't have it as one of my 3 worst. Number 3 is the Jets. And I guess we should probably get to a point where we stop putting the Jets in biggest losers. But this was going to be the start of the turnaround. This was going to, they get the Patriots. You can't lose to a 1-6 team when you keep telling me you're going to start turning it around. You're going to make friends with the darkness, as Aaron Rodgers told us. You got to make friends with the darkness.
I've been in the darkness.
I've been in the darkness. And whatever, man. I got a 40-year-old quarterback who is marginal at this point in a team that is bad. Can we just say it? They're not good. And this was going to be it. They were going to go on a run, and this was the Jet. That's horrible. They're number 3, and they're not number 1 because, well, number 1 was really bad, and also because at some point a 2-win team can't just they just got to fall out of this. Number 2, Seattle. Seattle goes across the country and wins, and then comes home and loses to a team for the second straight time coming across the country. And it's not even because they lost. If they'd have lost 31-28, I probably wouldn't even put them in here. But they get pantsed at home. And they're too damn good to lose, or at least you think they are, to lose that badly at home. And I understand that DK Metcalf was down, but Geno was not good. He tripped over his teammate near the goal line for a turnover while they were the Lobos in the red zone this weekend. Right? One time Geno trips over his center, and the other time you got a snap that goes 19 yards back that cost my running back 19 yards, and they just shot themselves in the foot and got run out of the built. And again, they could have taken control of that division at 5-3. I say control; they'd have been in first place. Horrible loss. And then number 1's the Bears. Just the way they lost, but they dominated. I'm going to go back to the second to last time they were at the goal line. And they don't give the ball to Rashawn Johnson, who's kind of I don't want to say he's Marshawn Lynch at the goal line, but he's been pretty automatic. And instead, they get cute and they decide to hand it off to a guy wearing 67 or 58 or whatever the offensive lineman's number was. They fumble the ball away. They got damn lucky didn't get returned for a scoop and score for 97 yards. It just horrible. And then to give that up, and I got Stevenson over there taunting the fans instead of being in on the play. And then they throw a Hail Mary, and he puts it up and sets it like a volleyball player, and boom, touchdown. And what just happened? And you got to sit in those meetings today. That by far was the worst loss of the weekend.
Yeah, this is one where I think doubling up on one game.
Yeah, I don't like to do that, but when it's
how dramatic it was in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're all right with that? All right, you okay with the list, though? All right. I got number 1, Bears, number 2, Seattle, and number 3, Jets. I got to take this final break. You can still get in at 505-246-0610. Recap and everything you got to know as you go into a Monday night that's got a World Series and a Monday Night Football game. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going.
Animal. The online response to that statue of Dwayne Wade is insane. It really is. Statue looks like Ronnie Lott with a Miami Heat jersey, it says on our text line. It also says, what's your thoughts, fellas, on CSU being dirty? Take the CU issue last season, supposedly whistles being used. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that, I mean, I don't know, man. Did you ever think I'm going to go to a game and I'm going to bring a whistle and watch this and I'm going to do this in the stands? I'm going to blow whistles? Your quarterback could have got lit up, dude.
Well, if you're wondering where I was
Yeah.
Saturday, because I wasn't live.
You were there?
So there you go.
You were the whistleblower? I mean, you're honestly, your quarterback could have got blown up.
Yeah, that was terrible. It was a late hit on Luke. They did it in a way where there wasn't going to, like the refs weren't going to overreact, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of just the flyby. Hard to see if you weren't paying attention.
And it was low.
To see it.
Yeah.
Which just stinks.
No, it stinks.
And yes, those are things that happen in the game that you have to address. The whistle potentially getting a player hurt is just outrageous, and all you can do is, if you hear it multiple times, start throwing flags, and then at that point in time, someone from Colorado State will got to get their attention. Like, all right, we got to go find this whistle. Which apparently they did, at least after halftime. But it's such a bad move because it puts players at an injury risk. And despite all that, you got the best defensive performance of the season from the Lobos and an opportunity to win. And I still think coming off this game, even with the frustration of the offense, if you can just get a little bit of that defensive performance moving forward, I expect the offense to iron things out. Bronco Mendenhall trusts Devin Dampier. The ball security on the run's got to be better. You know, he is a little Kyler Murray-like with outside the pocket and the way he holds the football. And they're going to have a chance in the next 3 Mountain West games. And I'm not as confident in the Washington State game as you, but maybe over.
I just don't think they get.
I think they're going to be double-digit dogs in that.
Okay, I just don't know that I think they get blown out. I think, offensively, I think they can score with Washington State for a while, and like they did with Auburn, right? And I don't. Is Washington State as good as Auburn? Maybe.
Yeah.
Washington State's ranked now, and Auburn's not. Maybe. I just don't think it's an absolute beat. No, if they're going to get bowl eligible, I think they've got to beat Wyoming, San Diego State, and Hawaii, and that's the answer at this point. Hopefully Luke's ankle can be better, because that's what it looked like to me, and that's from what I understand, it's but we'll see. If that kid can play, he'll play, right?
Yes, he will.
I mean, that's one thing I promise. All right, what do you got as you go through today? You get Monday Night Football here on the Sports Animal. Steelers and Giants tonight, right? Right here on your home for the National Football League, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You get Game 3, World Series tonight. A huge one in the Bronx, and it'll be Walker Buehler for Los Angeles, and it'll be Clark Schmidt for the Yankees. Dodgers with a 2-0 lead, coming off of I don't know that. I was looking for words for Friday, and I've lived on the Kirk Gibson thing for 36 years, dude. Like, I tell people where I was and how that was, and I remember, we're watching an old Watchman. It was halftime of a Aztec Hawaii game. 100 people around me and the dude next to me named Pat Bridge, and we both had these little mini TVs back before you can watch on your phone. And Gibson hit the homer. I launched a full beer in the air, jumped into Pat Bridges like Yogi Berra. It was that moment, right? And Dodger fans went nuts. It was bonkers. This was that all over again, was it not?
Yes, it was.
And so, as much as you will see the Kirk Gibson home run for all, as you always do, and especially if the Dodgers win the series, they kind of got to win the series, right? That one was off Dennis Eckersley, the great reliever of the A's, but they won the series. Dodgers are up 2-0. I guess they got to win the series for that to become as iconic, or do they?
Yes, it will be history, but I don't think it will be iconic. They don't win the series, because it kind of goes back to the conversation we were having after that Guardians-Yankees game. They lost the series, so that might be one of the best games
that was an
you've seen.
Game.
But
yeah, fair enough. No, that's good. That's good. The other one was, Gibson. That was his only at bat in that whole series, which is even he couldn't walk. He limped up there. That was, the Gibby thing is going to be different because he was injured, and Freddie was injured too now, but not injured to the point where he wasn't playing. But the Gibson thing, off of a Hall of Fame reliever, off of Eckersley, and they go on to win the series, and then that turned the whole thing. We'll see. The difference in the Gibson thing, were they down? I guess they were. That was a 2-run home run. Mike Davis was on first base. They walked Mike Davis. That was what people are going to forget too. The Dodgers were down a run. So I think we were all just looking for a base hit to right at that point. Just poke one into right field and score 2 runs and win the game.
Do you 2 better. Put it over the wall.
Just one of the most insane moments. Tell me again, baseball's boring. The last 3 innings of that game were intense. Intense every pitch. So you get that tonight. And you get Lobo basketball tonight. Is that over on News Radio KQB? All right. So Lobos and UTEP It is an exhibition. In 2 years, it'll be a league game. But today it's an exhibition game.
Mountain West preview.
Yeah. You get that over at University Arena tonight. So we got a lot to talk about tomorrow. And I mean, it'll be fun. I mean, what do you do tonight, man? You sit on the couch? You go to the pit?
Go to the pit for a little bit.
Okay, I don't hate that.
Get football on your phone.
Yeah.
If you want to enjoy a little bit of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
All right, and then tomorrow, what do I get? Do I get Aggies tomorrow night? They play tomorrow, right? Against Western Kentucky? That's the wrong week. Go back to here. All right, 505-246-0610. Put that in for tomorrow. Thank you to Bronco Mendenhall for being with us. Yeah, Aggies and FIU tomorrow. 5 o'clock start. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning. I don't know, you want to start at 7 a.m.? Does that work for you?
Works for me.
All right. Adrian, great work. Always great work on the visuals. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.